I reached for her that night, hoping to close the distance between us. She flinched like my touch burned. "Don't," she said sharply, eyes fixed on her phone. "I'm not in the mood to play wife tonight." The words cut through me cleanly, but I didn't let it show. I smiled instead of breaking. "You won't have to anymore," I said, voice even, hands steady. She didn't know what I meant then. But I did. Her calls began that night and didn't stop for days. We met the way so many stories begin. By accident, in a moment so ordinary it felt fated. She spilled her coffee on my shirt. I made a joke about it. She laughed, too hard, too bright. And for a second I thought destiny had brought me to her. I'd always been careful with love, kept it close, measured. But she slipped past every guard I had, gentle as water through closed fists. She became warmth in a cold world, a light I didn't know I'd been waiting for. Or at least that's what I told myself. We built a life together. Photos on the fridge. Shared notes on napkins. Quiet plans whispered in the dark. I trusted her. Built my world around her. Made her the center of everything. And for years, she played the part beautifully. Perfect wife. Perfect partner. Perfect illusion. But perfection doesn't last. It started small, short replies, distracted looks, the phone always face down. Her laughter changed. It wasn't mine anymore. The glow in her eyes when she texted, the little smile on her lips when she typed, I knew it wasn't for me. I told myself I was imagining things. Until the night I wasn't. I passed the bathroom and heard her whisper, urgent and low, "I can't talk now. He's here." I froze, my hand against the wall, my face a mask. I went to bed without a word. When she came back, I feigned sleep. I heard the relief in her breath as she lay down. That was the first undeniable truth. The second came weeks later, when she forgot to lock her laptop. A message appeared, "Last night was perfect. I can still taste you." My chest tightened, but my hands stayed calm. I read every word. Memorized them. Closed the laptop quietly. That was the moment love died. And something colder, sharper, took its place. I didn't confront her. That would have been too easy. Tears, excuses, gaslighting. I'd seen enough of human nature to know how that story ended. So I stayed silent. Silence is power. Silence lets betrayal grow careless. Instead, I planned. I collected everything, messages, call logs, receipts. I tracked her patterns. The hotel stays, the sudden work events, the lies she thought were flawless. I built a timeline of her betrayal, piece by piece. And while she was giving herself to another man, I stayed in my role. Loving husband. Supportive partner. Blind and harmless. But my blindness was a mask. And it was my deadliest weapon. I made sure to protect myself first. I quietly moved most of our savings into an account she couldn't touch. I changed the beneficiaries on my insurance policies without telling her. I sold off anything that was in my name and kept it for myself. Every string she thought she could pull, I cut. Then I turned to the law. I met with my lawyer, armed with evidence, proof of her affair, of her neglect, of everything that would tilt the divorce in my favor. He looked at what I had gathered and smiled. I smiled too, because I already saw how this would end. Her affair wasn't just some casual mistake. It was with someone she worked with, someone who also happened to be married. When I reached out to his wife, she didn't hesitate. She wanted the truth. She wanted revenge just as much as I did. We traded evidence like battle plans. Then I waited. I acted like the perfect, clueless husband. She grew careless, emboldened, believing I was too blind to see what was happening. And then I chose my moment. It was her birthday. She thought I had planned a romantic dinner, a celebration just for her. I had, but not the kind she imagined. I booked the restaurant, invited her family, her closest friends, his wife, and even him. When she walked in, she was glowing, expecting a night all about her. And in a way, it was. I stood, raised my glass, and said, "To my wife, the woman I thought I knew. Tonight, we celebrate truth." Confusion spread through the room. She froze. He turned pale. I laid the folder on the table, photos, texts, hotel receipts, everything. Her mother gasped. Her father muttered a curse. Friends stared. I didn't yell. I didn't make a scene. I simply let the evidence do the talking. Then I looked straight at her and said, "You told me you weren't in the mood to play wife. You won't have to anymore." The silence was deafening. She broke down. He left. His wife hurled her drink in his face. The room erupted, but I just walked out. The divorce that followed was quick and clean. Every asset was protected. Every lie she told was exposed. She walked away with a fraction of what she expected. Afterward, the calls started. First she was furious, then apologetic, then desperate. I never picked up. Revenge, I learned, doesn't have to be loud or violent. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's peace. Sometimes it's just closing a door and never opening it again. She showed me what betrayal felt like. I showed her what consequences look like. And in the end, we both got exactly what we earned.